Okay, this video is gonna be actually pretty quick, but one of my coworkers actually just, I guess she was watching some video and she asked me if I knew who Blueface and Krishan were, and I was like, oh yeah, I know who they are, because I ever since I learned about who they were, I made a couple of videos about them, just because all of it was like actually pretty fucking shocking. Anyway, not the point though. It sounds like today, like I don't know when it was. I don't know if somebody had clipped the video, but she was showing the video and it was basically like Blueface, um not Krishan, it was the other, whoever his first baby mama is or whatever. He's like calling her over and he's saying, "Hey, like come get this dick" or whatever. And then you can like hear you can hear her giving him fellatio like on camera, and like it was just I don't want to be invited into Blueface's bedroom. Like I don't want to see that. That's gross. Like I'm sorry. Like I don't. Like I think the part here I just want to make clear is like I went to try to find the video on Instagram and I saw he had like pinned these pictures of like him and I guess his first baby mama, and like he was like, "Oh, I won. I've been with a person who's never been with anyone else. I'm a winner." And I would just like to just explain this concept for you. If you're a black woman, I'm just trying to explain this for you because I too used to be under the impression that like purity politics had this meaning. Like I think there are a lot of men, especially in like the Arab world. I see it a lot where purity politics is the only thing that matters to women, because when women aren't human, women are just like vessels, right? They're just like corpses, which is another reason why I don't understand why more people aren't having or aren't talking more deeply about like what we're actually witnessing right now during war. Like what you're seeing are pictures of babies being murdered and women being raped, because during times of chaos and when there's like a lack of civility and civilization collapses, like men turn into like animals and they rape and they kill. That's what happens. Like, and there is no more sanctity of life. No one gives a shit about babies or children. That's why you see them dead on the street, and we're just watching video after video of literal corpses of children right on the street. And you see people here who are basically saying like fuck Palestinians, let them die. You see other people who are like fuck Israelis, let them die. On both sides people are advocating for murder, and none of it is right. But that's where we are, because humanity can be really cruel. This isn't the point though. I want to go back to this idea of like the purity politics that I feel like some people in the black community might be watching Blueface exhibit, and why it's illogical. And I just want to give this from my own perspective. And I gotta be honest here, like I am pretty much agnostic, like an atheist. Like I am not this like fundamental Christian person, but I do want people to be aware that like Protestant evangelical, like by the book Christians exist. Those girls with the Bible channel who are like you know, like with purity rings and all that shit, trust me, I used to be a part of that community. It is very real. There are people who like all they don't like, they are not listening to like Beyonce music. They don't know who Blueface is, okay? Like they are not watching sexy red videos. Like all of that shit is banned. Like all of the, you know how they put on the rap music, it'll have the little sticker that's like explicit, cannot listen to it. Like they're unable to listen to Jay-Z music. Like those parts of society actually exist. Like I currently live in the Bible Belt. It is a real place where basically everyone is like extremely Christian. I'm not a Christian. I'm not anti-Christian. I'm not really pro-Christian. What I do believe in are like the seven deadly sins. So like I believe that you should basically live life in moderation and being ethical and being moral is so important. But I also think being pragmatic is important, and the pragmatism is what I want to kind of dial in on here. And I'm just going to go from my own experience here. So, back when I had, it wasn't even my first boyfriend, because my first like three boyfriends, I actually never had any sex with them. But the first guy I had sex with, it like I didn't actually tell him that I was a virgin. Um, you would think like he would just know, right? But like he didn't really know. Like I actually told him like years later. And I only told him because my cousin told me that I should tell him. And I was like, what the fuck? It's like meaningless. And it was like very clear to me, even after being in that relationship. And I heard another like African content creator talk about this. She was like, oh, I thought guys were supposed to really like it when you haven't been with someone else. I thought that too. And then I realized that nigger culture has no value for black women at all. Like black women are absolutely valueless. Like you're not beautiful, you have no beauty, you have no anything that has to do with like femininity proper in the way that like you understand it. They don't see you like that. And I gotta say, for most men, probably globally right now, just because black women are so dehumanized, they don't see us as these like human people with like thoughts and feelings, the ability to bear children, members of society worthy of respect, human beings, just anything that has to do with like you having a shred of humanity. It does not exist. Start from that place, because I feel like I came from a place where I had way too much empathy and I put way too much onus on society to have some respect for my life. I was like, oh, well, I respect life. So I just assumed, right? Because where was I? My dumbass. I was like reading the Bible thinking that shit was real. I was like, oh, no, treat everyone else how you want to be treated. Like, show respect, like value yourself and value others the way that. No, that is not the society that we currently live in. Most people do not. There's some people who feel that way. If you can, try to surround yourself with as many people who feel that way as possible. I do believe that being a member of a church community, probably not a black church community, but just some other church community that actually practices and believes in like fundamental Christian values, or even whatever religion. I've seen a lot of different religions kind of have some sense of ethics, but I think that in terms of a civilization that I would want to, move forward in, I feel like Christianity is probably the religion that just makes the most logical sense to me. And that's having grown up in a Buddhist household and practicing Buddhism my entire life. Given what I've seen, that's currently how I feel. You don't have to agree with me. I don't know. And I'm still not a practicing Christian. So I want to be very clear about that. Like, even all that I know and all that I believe, it is not enough to encourage me to join the religion. But let's go back, because this video was supposed to be about Blueface. So the point that I want to make about Blueface, and I just won't be, I don't know why this person is like, first of all, he should not be a hero or a mentor to you. Like, really, he should probably be someone that you avoid. Like, if you're listening to the music, if you're following him on Instagram and you're streaming the music and really tuning into any of it, none of that is pro Christian values. Like, none of it has to do with dignity. None of it has to do with respect. It doesn't really feel like he's even respecting his partner. I would say that, like, if you've learned anything from the OnlyFans girls, like, all of them, I don't know, you could say whatever. Like, there are a lot of OnlyFans girls who are just doing, what is it, like cam girl type stuff, where they're like just showing their body on the internet, so they're not actually like having the sex with people. So there's all these levels to it where people are trying to like rationalize their hypersexuality. Like, him hypersexualizing his wife for the internet and, having fellatio on Instagram Live, it's just unnecessary. And it's so strange, because like, I don't actually understand what, like, you can't promote like purity politics and hypersexualization at the same time. They're opposite. And like, that's what I'm seeing right now. So I saw there was like a post with like Snoop Dogg, where like Snoop Dogg and Blueface are now together, and they're both like rapping these like nigger raps. It's once again, it's like over and over again, and no one is forcing them to do this. Like, this is what they believe. This, and I just want to be very clear, because you see the like this this literal like contradiction, right? It's hypocrisy, really. And growing up for me, it was so strange because like when you're young, you're so naive. Like you're just like, this doesn't really make sense. This doesn't seem right, but you haven't seen another way. And I just want to make it very clear, like there's multiple examples at this point of another way. They are like literally choosing kind of like degradation and hypersexualization as opposed to like Christian fundamentalism, which is like what they seem to be promoting, or purity politics. Um, Purity politics doesn't align, and I also want to say this: purity politics does not align with hypersexualization in the sense that the sex or the actual intercourse and the, how can you say it, like the insinuation of it, the like hinting toward it, the like it's kind of the way that, or let me bring this back like two steps. The reason that a lot of people who are like hyper how do you say it, like fundamentalist and against hypersexualization and pro kind of keeping human sexuality between themselves and their partner, like the man and woman, husband and wife, it is to make it very clear that like that is the goal, that is like the ideal, that is special. I think that it is very special if you are sharing yourself with one person and like that's your person, and like that is the special thing. The very strange thing about the Blueface and his wife scenario right now is that he's kind of promoting hoism for himself. So like he still is, it very much so seems like, I don't know, I stopped following, but like it seems like he's hoeing himself out to multiple women. So he's still going around and fucking whoever he wants, but he's saying the woman that I had a baby with, she's only been with me. So like I'm gonna keep on hoeing, but she though, her, she's only with me. Now that's something that's kind of about how do you say this, like almost like anti-feminism, because it's giving this indication that like women are weaker, women are less than. So therefore, because like Blueface is male and he is stronger, he has more autonomy to like go and fuck all these people, and she shouldn't do that. And I just want to give multiple examples here of other men, of men who seriously do believe in like, how do you say it, like the value and the purity of the bond between like husband and wife. That is not what Blueface is practicing. He actively has another baby mama, Krishan, who I'm not sure, I saw like a highlight reel of this, but she's pregnant again, and I think it's by him. So he's got like two baby mamas now. So maybe this is a form of polygamy. Either way, this has nothing to do with like Christian fundamentalism, and the morals seem very off, and there's like a very clear double standard, right? It's not just a double standard, it's like it's a hypocrisy. He's saying that like, I believe in hypersexualization. I believe in having multiple partners for myself, I'm talking as if I were Blueface, because I am male, but for my baby mama, she is not allowed to do that because she is female. Um, I don't know. I think that I'm not saying that, I'm not encouraging any woman to go be like Blueface at all. You definitely should not do that. That doesn't make sense. But also, like, what he's doing is not right. For anyone to just go out and just, it doesn't really feel like there's like a reason to like want to go out and just like completely hoe all the time. Like it just feels like it's like extremely extra. Don't get me wrong, I feel like if you're in a phase where you're like, you go out like one night or something, you know, and like you hook up with someone like one night, and then the rest of the time you're just like, all right, like I'm living life, that seems like a very normal thing to do. I'm not saying encourage that, but I'm also saying like that, like, okay, but like that doesn't really feel like that's what, I just wanted to basically speak my piece on that because, like, I feel like these are things that I know and that are obvious. And as opposed to, like, the Christian extremists who I'm around who, or the, like, extreme Mormons who would just look at Blueface and be like, demon, 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 devil, devil, devil. This is why black people are animals, you know. As a black person, knowing that there's black women who do not have that context because they've never been around like white Christian fundamentalists, so they just like they are just like looking at Blueface and thinking that the post that he's making is like saying something that's aligning with values that are a part of mainstream culture, promoting the fact that he has a current relationship with the mother of his children is a positive thing. I am not degrading that. Hypersexualizing her on Instagram Live probably doesn't do any good for any of us. I think that's not that hard to rationalize. Like, we don't really need to see that. Have all the, like, he should have all the sex that he wants with his baby mama in their own privacy. I'm just saying, I don't want to hear about that from other people. I care not to know. Too much TMI for me. Like, I'm not interested in joining nobody else's bedroom. Like, I'm good. Um yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to make that point because, like, I just don't know if anybody else has there's the weird, like, YouTube girls who have just never done anything. They've never had any sex or relationships at all. And I mean, I think that those things are really different. I think there are some people who've had a lot of sex and then no relationships, and then some people who've had a lot of relationships and no sex. And there's a weird thing where there's just not enough of us out here who've had just like a pretty like rational amount of like relationships and sex, and we can kind of like talk about it in a way that just fucking makes some sense. What Blueface is doing doesn't make any sense. I mean, I don't know. This could be a like a change, okay, in his values where he's saying like, I'm now choosing to be with this girl, my baby mama, and now that, like, from now on, I am turning a new leaf. This is what I'm doing. I am proud with this. This is what it is. Oh, there's one other point that I wanted to make though. So sometimes you're a girl, right? And you're like, oh man, this, I want a guy to feel like that about me, like the way that like Blueface feels about this girl. I want a guy to feel that way about me. And I just want to let you know that like the black community is probably not a good, really any community. Like it isn't really safe to like go out into society and look for that, because trying to look for that, you might end up losing yourself in the search. And that's the whole point of marriage. Marriage is you taking a literal risk and saying, ooh, I might actually find this forever in this person, but you need an all-in commitment from that person in order to take the risk. Sexually, financially, all of those things. That's something that I feel like it took me a while to like really understand, but I definitely understand it now, which is why I would continue to encourage women to actively practice feminism, because you don't have to like risk anything with anyone else. There's no risk because you are providing for and taking care of yourself. And as you gradually shift from, if you decide to shift into a relationship with a male, it will be very clear like the things that need to the additions that need to come to the table in order for you to take away things that you've already put on the table, so that you remain even keeled, so that you never have a point where things are like taken away. That's one thing I continue to see in society where things just go miserably wrong. It's like there's so many men who are taking from so few women. It's like having all of the men talk about sexy red. That's so strange. Like there should never be a point where like that many men have access to you and your story. That's very fucking weird. Or having what's the girl Suki somebody. Like, it's just like, dang, like men just actively hate this woman, and that That's very strange. Like, she, I understand if there's like one guy, you have one ex-boyfriend who's got a vendetta against you. It's like, well, some shit is gonna happen. But it's like groups of men and women alike who seem to have like all these feelings about her. She's like, how do you even have this many experiences with like this many people? Doesn't really make sense. I understand also a lot of people getting on a hate train about a story that they've heard, but I don't know. All in all of it's weird. I will say, and I will continue to say this, like, it does feel like the black community is not really a safe community for black women to really grow up or have adolescent experiences in, because of the toxicity of so many black males who seem to be pro hoe phase, pro exploitation, pro just death, really. That's kind of what's happening. And I think there's too much of the Christian fundamentalist extremists who are kind of also super anti-black. And so as they watch the hypersexuality happening, they're using it as like a play-by-play teaching tool for their own communities and their own children to examine why they should separate and how demonic black people are. Blueface with all the tattoos walks around every day looking like a whole ass demon and wondering why the white community, they be sitting here like, damn, like there's a book about this. It's like playing out in real American life. Anyway, yeah, so you heard it here first, I guess. It's just my take. This might not make sense to some of you. If you honestly, if you listen to this and you have questions about what I'm saying, why I'm saying it, or where I'm coming from, you could post those questions and I could probably point you in either direction. Like, I feel like maybe more black women need to be pointed in the direction of the Christian fundamentalist girls, and like how different their lives are maybe from your own, especially in terms of men, because I feel like some of you guys have this idea that like there aren't men or something. And like in the black community, the weird part is like you'll have women who just don't have any relationships with men at all. Like they've never gone on any dates. They've never done anything. And like that's weird too, because even in like the Christian fundamentalist spaces, there's like an equal number of like men and women. The men just have like dignity and respect for women, and they know how to like be civil in society, and they walk around and they're married and they have respect for their own children and other people's children and society, and that's why society continues to run. And some way, I think that first of all, some of you believe that like Snoop Dogg and Blueface are a part of this society, or that following them will make you a part of this society. They're different. Like it's night and day. This is why I continue to say it. There's mainstream culture and there's counterculture, and they're like the leaders of counterculture who seem to have this admiration as they get older to kind of like matriculate into mainstream culture by settling down, I suppose, with their families. But I don't believe, or I don't know if they understand or if they are aware of the damage that they've done through their music and their actions in the rest of society. I don't know. That was a very long rant, but that's how I feel.